have our machine. It's a JLG man lift. One of the first things that we're going to be doing with our walk around is we're going to be checking all these safety stickers. We're going to read our information, make sure that we know it. This one's a explosion fire hazard. That's an electrocution hazard, staying away from power lines. This is a crush hazard one, not to stick your hands in the right up in here when they're moving the lift up and down. Okay, don't put your hands there. We're gonna look at our little controls here, make sure everything's in good operational order. Here we have the manufacturer's plaque. It'll tell you the max height, 18.8 feet. The rated workload is 500 pounds. All right, this is all good information to know, so you don't exceed your limits and you're working safely. Okay, we have the same exact markings on this side. We've also got the model number, the company who rented it to us, their contact information, the certification of annual inspection. You have to make sure that that's good, up to date. Let's see. Okay, after we've gone through and inspected all of our safety labels, make sure that we know what we're working with, we're going to be checking out our tires and inspecting them to make sure that they're not ripped, dry rotted, deep gouges, things like that. These look like they're in okay condition, definitely still able to work. And check out our back tires here. Okay, all the back tires seem like they're okay. So we've got a little bit of a rip. We would note any discrepancies on the report. This is a pre-operation check, so our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually put this machine down to its lower level, and we're going to inspect, or actually, you know what, before that, we're going to inspect our piston here, make sure that we're not having any hydraulic fluid leaking anywhere. Make sure our connectors are all good and tight. We're going to look at our hoses, make sure nobody's leaking. Make sure our electrical connectors are all good and in place. And we're going to inspect our charge cable here. Make sure it's not frayed, messed up. Okay, so everything looks in pretty okay operation so far. So we're going to put this down and we're going to inspect the controls up there. Here we have our safety latch. That's what's holding it up in place right now. We're going to use our manual, local. This out the way. Use our local control. Bring this back down. And we're going to step up into the lift as well. Okay? So here we're going to inspect our steps as well. Make sure that they're not bent up or broken. They're supposed to have a non-stick adhesive stuck onto this so that you don't slip. These are missing them. We would note that in our report. Our max capacity, 2 people plus equipment, 500 pounds. Okay. Make sure our safety chain is in good working order. It's going to be holding. Okay. Next, we're going to come into our platform, make sure our locks engage and disengage as they should, which they do. We're going to look at our electrical cable here, and we're going to inspect it for any frays or rips. I see we've got a little bit of electrical cord here, or electrical tape on this. We'll see what kind of repairs there. In here we have our operator's manual. Important to refresh yourself and know what your limits and capabilities are. Over here, up here in the operator's table, we actually have a few other safety warning labels. We've got a tip over hazard, a crushing hazard, and falling hazard sticker, another capacity logo. Yeah, then we have our controls here. Our next step would be for us to give ourselves the operational test. Okay, so We have here our selector switch. One side is for the steering, or I'm sorry, one side is for driving back and forth, and the other side is for raising and lowering our platform. Okay, and this is a multiple trigger switch, so you have to squeeze on it and then move the joystick back and forth to do what you need it to. So what we would do now is we're gonna go and operate our, make sure that our controls all work as they should. Give it a little bit forward, a little bit of back. Everything's good on this so far. This little rocker switch up here is for the driving or the steer tires. And same thing, you'd have to push on it and hit the switch. See that? We had good operation on our, we had good operation of our steering. We have good operation on our lift. We've got good drivability back and forth. Our battery is charged. It's got 3 little indicators, the real bright one, and then those 2 are a little bit dim, but they're lit up. So this piece of equipment is ready to operate and use. That was our pre-inspection. After this, we'd go out and do our work, whatever we needed to do. And then when we would return it to the shop, we would inspect it again before we shut it down so that we could repair anything that needs to be repaired and maintain the equipment properly. Thank you.